Hello, welcome back everyone to yet another sketchbook tour, a beautiful tradition on this channel if I must say so myself. I just finished this sketchbook which I pretty much designated for drawing, doodles, planning, letting go of perfection, and simply showing up to the page and having fun. Jumping right into the cover, I added one of the stickers that I created. It's my jumbo elephant sticker, and to give the cover a little more personalized touch, I added some doodles around. Shall we take a look inside? Keeping the inside cover relatively simple this time. I like the first spread to be a little introduction to the sketchbook, so I added my name, little fun peekaboo window with my information. I started the sketchbook in October of 2021 and just finished it December 2022. But I have been working in this other sketchbook here as my painting sketchbook, so I kind of keeping two. I collaged in on the left one of my favorite postcards from my Justober series last year. It really makes me smile and just screams welcome. For that series last year, I focused on positive prompts, and here are some character explorations for the prompt love. I asked myself questions like, what will the characters look like? And right here is where I fleshed it all out. After trying out everything from little humans, little hardheads, little robots, I ended up going with the concept of lovebirds. And with these characters, I explored all the different forms of love, and after translating my thoughts into another sketchbook for the final result, it went from a completed painting to a beautiful poster. So yeah, here's some rough stage exploration and where it all began, and also some stickers that were born from it. It's really so beautiful to look back at the whole process. In this sketchbook, I also glued in and taped in things that I found. I support another artist who has a small business, and this little vintage page came with the package. I really love learning through sketching, and over on the right, some ballpoint sketches and studies. I began experimenting with water media for the sketchbook, but it didn't seem to do too well since the paper is pretty thin. But in a way I enjoyed it, so I just designated it for dry media, and I found that the smooth surface worked quite well for a colored pencil, so here I was just trying out different color palettes and seeing what the paper can handle. I tend to go for a more thicker paper sketchbook so that I don't see any bleeding through, but I have to say that this thinner paper allowed me to let loose a bit and embrace the warp or a little bleed through. Here are some little characters and studies from life on the beach, focusing on stylization, different line weight, and just doing my best to capture everyone's expression and body language. Urban sketching people on the beach is like a free life drawing class, and I like to take the opportunity to sketch at any time I can. On the right, I tried giving the paper another attempt to watercolor, but it did warp. I just placed my brushes in front of me and painted them from life, and I think this was the deciding factor to keep this sketchbook more for drawing. Can you tell that I love birds? Some more studies over on the left. And the ink sketch on the right was from my flight to Jackson Hole when I went snowboarding. I drew this right in the plane and tried to practice some perspective. I was caught by the kids sitting in front, but they were really happy to take a look at the final sketch. In one of my videos, I talked about honoring the creative itch, which essentially, if you feel like you're itching to draw, just go ahead and start. And with this spread, I just took my bike over to a nearby parking lot and sat and drew a bunch of cars. And I also gave myself the opportunity to play with the new fountain pen that I got. Combining your sketch sessions with things that you've been meaning to try or art supplies that you love, but also keeping it simple to just one pen can go a really long way. You may recognize some of these sketches from the videos, which I'll be referencing quite a few, but everything will be linked below in a list for you to check out after. One of my go-to feel-good sketch sessions is sketching some portraits with pencil. I truly have so much fun with these. When I do these, I'm really thinking about how I can capture their expression as best as I can. What are the shapes that I can find? And although I'm using reference, how can I change things up to make it completely my own? Over on the right, I decided to practice some full figures and 2 people walking, because that's a challenge of its own. I'm constantly stretching all of my artistic muscles with different mediums, and my intention with this page was to simplify the lines in ink and again practice more figure drawings because I felt a bit rusty at the time. And as I progressed from the left of the spread all the way to the right, I noticed the drawings get better and better. Some more random ink drawings trying to simplify animals. There's just something so daring going straight into the paper with no pencil with ink. No erasing, just making a bold statement. I made this drawing after watching a movie with Ben Carson. He's a neurosurgeon that performs a very difficult surgery on twins in the movie. I believe the movie's called Gifted Hands. And when I'm inspired by a human, I research their quotes and I added them in the background of this drawing. I'm really big on quotes, and it's just my way of learning and processing things. As my days got busier and busier this year, I tried waking up as early as possible and wishing myself a good morning to just make time for a page. I remember feeling like I don't have enough time to sketch after editing for so long, and so these cars were actually drawn in a parking lot after I got stuck with a flat tire. If I had a few extra minutes to sketch, I took the opportunity. I feel like there's so much to learn in our world, so here's just a super simple line drawing page. I just studied different flowers and got to know their characteristics a bit more. Some people take physical notes. I like to draw things. These are some more drawings from life. I saw the couple on the right at a restaurant having a glass of wine together, and to make it interactive, I drew a figure over on the left looking at them. Some more drawings of birds, this time big birds and little birds. This is definitely a hard subject to draw, so I like to choose the hardest subjects so that I can get better with my skills. This was also an exclusive drawing demo with my patrons where we drew together. Oh, check it out. Looks like we have an envelope on this page, so let's see what's inside. It looks like it's from our sponsors of today's video, Squarespace. This page from the sketchbook is actually the very first planning page for my Tilda sticker pack. I've been using Squarespace for many years now to power my shop along with my portfolio and my website. This has been truly the all-in-one platform that helped me build my website all on my own. And looking back now, it's so incredible to see the ideas start in the sketchbook, transfer into paintings, and then I can make them into physical products that I can sell on my Squarespace website. I really enjoy how easy it is to customize. As I launched my end of the year sale on my shop and I wanted to have this beautiful banner, all I needed to do was drag and drop an image I created, and it's that easy, which looks seamless and beautiful thanks to their award-winning templates. And oh, look at that, there's a discount code for you guys. I know I love a good discount code. You can head to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/JessCarp for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So usually when I have an idea, it starts brewing with all these doodles and all these messy sketches. But to me, these have the most life and the most personality and character. I truly think Tilda is a character, so I was itching to bring her to life. And you guys also requested it to be a sticker pack, so once I transferred over into making the paintings, which I have a full video on, you can check it out, tracking back the process and seeing every step I took with all the ideas that I developed is quite special. And what's even more special is my bond with my studio buddy, who is the perfect muse and inspiration. So I thoroughly enjoyed the process because I really connected with the topic. And thanks to everyone who purchased this fun sticker pack in my shop. Whenever you're stuck, just grab a rainbow pencil and draw a bunch of random things around you. I know it sounds silly, but give it a try. I really enjoy noodling and doodling. It's super therapeutic to me. I just let the line dance on the paper and it makes these random lines all over the place. And they show up at least once in every sketchbook. On this spread, I studied the male portraits and the female portraits. Over on the left, sketching with ballpoint pen, and on the right, sketching with mechanical pencil. Here I did some master studies of Andrew Loomis's ink drawings. I tried to study each stroke and the direction of the lines that can help form the figure. This was super helpful because I was then able to apply it to my own drawings. This one specifically done on location, less thinking on the actual drawing, but more capturing the moment and drawing from the heart. It can be overwhelming on what supplies to take with you on the go and drawing from location, but sometimes all you need is a good ink pen or a ballpoint pen, which you can use to form out these little hash lines, and that alone goes a long way. No matter how many years of experience of drawing you have, it's always great to do a good skull study. Here I just used a brown colored pencil, and that's just to spice it up with a limited color. Over on the right was actually a random experimental painting, drawing, mixed media piece. Strangely, acrylic worked well without any gesso, it just laid on top of the paper. And I also turned this into an exclusive Patreon reward. Some more ballpoint sketches, this time really exaggerating the stylization, just seeing which shapes come naturally to me. I really love the way this one came out. If you ever mess up a portrait, just slap on a good old post-it note, keep going, and try again. Some more ballpoint pen sketches. Here trying some smiling teeth pictures. Another really great challenge to try. And over on the right is one of my favorite sketches in the sketchbook. I loved experimenting with the color line and the graphite. This year I tackled a huge self-portrait with tulips. Initially, the tulips were gifted to me by my mom, and I wanted to make characters out of them, but then I ended up switching the concept and painting my self-portrait holding the tulips. Definitely a topic I feared and was nervous about, but I documented the whole thing, so you can check out those videos too. Here are some shape experimentals for my little robot custom painting for Tilda, the most beautiful poopy palace to exist. But as you can see, some of the trees that I painted started off in those initial sketches, and the little story that I painted on the robot itself also began with little characters as I imagined on the page before I began. Over on the left is a sketch that came out completely from imagination, and then a bunch of random notes for videos and writing. Practicing these stylized portraits in pencil and pen became my go-to feel-good drawing sessions, and I began to make use of the blending stump for smudging in combination with a simple graphite pencil. And nothing like a good old reminder not to be so hard on yourself. I tend to practice a lot of females, so I ensured to practice some male figure drawings, some dancers, and just getting that done in ink. Here's some more infamous black and white just carp line drawings, and this to me is just a doodle explosion in the sketchbook. Sometimes I do this thing where I text my friends, what's the first word you can think of? And my friend texted back, strawberry, so that's what came out of that. After painting a whimsical fantasy character in the YouTube's biggest art collab, I explored some more ballpoint pen sketches here and was really pleased with the outcome. Some more drawings from life in ballpoint pen, this time full figures on the beach. Although I was trying to relax and get some sun, I really can't help but sketch sometimes. Sometimes when doing figure drawing, I like to do a close-up of the hands or feet to give an extra study on that too. These were relatively quick gesture drawings, but looking back at them now, sometimes your quickest sketches will be the strongest. On that same day, I dedicated a full page to these 3 men I saw talking on the beach. I really find beauty in the most mundane moments. They were in this really heated conversation, all talking with their hands, so I wanted to capture that movement with the man over on the right, and I titled it Conversations by the Shore. For this sketch, I've had this new love for headpieces and floral patterns, so I thought why not combine some of my favorite elements with a portrait sketch. Switching over the orientation and another explosive feelings of doodles on the page. Sometimes I feel like I have a lot of buildup of emotions and things that I feel inside that just explode out, and here it happened to explode out into the sketchbook. On the next page, I was just taking notes from a class I was taking on lighting, and on the right, a pink acrylic painting of a sleepy tiger. Here I was also doing some random shape studies on different books and things that I found around. There she goes with more black and white ink drawings. And another reminder, one of my favorite quotes and songs, "Don't worry, be happy." It's also an inside joke between my dad and I, shout out to Papa Carp. When I was little, I always drew these random shapes and colored them in. My mom saved all of the drawings, and going through them recently inspired me to channel my inner child, and it was crazy to feel how soothing it was to simply draw shapes and shade them in. Your sketchbook is a safe place, so you can really do anything you want in here. Here I played with some more flow of portraits and shapes. And this was a really fun one. I took some highlighters on the beach. Since the paper was thin, markers would bleed through, but highlighters did a pretty good job. And while I was on the beach, I spotted a little boy playing in the sand, enjoying life, enjoying the moment, and boom, there was a spark of inspiration. I had to capture him with these highlighters. I spent nearly a few seconds on each of these little gesture drawings, and in my head, I assigned the pink to be the highlights and the blues to be the shadows. And then over on the right, I thought, hey, I really enjoy using these highlighters. Let's make a quick loose piece out of it. Switching mediums over to some crayons. This was just the view out of my studio, and then I drew a bunch of random shapes and made characters out of them. I love drawing giant noses. Immediately I fell in love and was reminded of the texture that crayon gives us, and then she was born, completely from imagination as well. One day, my friends invited me to go watch a game, but of course my sketchbook came with me, so I did some more portraits from life. And here's some ink drawings of people at the airport and on my plane flight to New York. I also did some gouache paintings in another sketchbook that same day. Arriving to New York, our first stop was Montauk, so while having some lunch, I sketched these 2 girls that were enjoying a meal as well. You may notice this polka-dotted washi tape throughout the sketchbook. I haven't really done this before, but I really enjoyed playing around with the texture of it and collaging it into the drawings. I was born and raised in New York, and I haven't been back in 3 years, so arriving back into the city felt like the most exciting, happy feeling ever. So this drawing was just done on one morning in Wall Street. Okay, so with this spread, this was actually the first spread that I did in the sketchbook. I started in the middle of this book, which I don't ever do because I was just unsure about the paper. So here I tried all these different art supplies and how they would perform on the sketchbook himself. Whatever art supply or sketchbook you use, you have to enjoy it. So I just tried acrylic and colored pencil and some graphite. And if you're someone who suffers from starting a sketchbook and that first blank page, try opening to the dead center of it and starting there. Just another portrait study stylizing shapes and color and line weight. And while I was in Brooklyn, I visited Manhattan Beach and I saw these men playing chess, and they were moving rather quickly, so I had to work fast there. Some more flowy doodles and drawings with pencil this time. That was on a train ride over to the Museum of Natural History where I sketched this guy. Sketching in museums is really an amazing feeling. Arriving back to New York helped me see it in a different eye. When I say there's endless inspiration there, I mean it. I visited the New York Public Library, and that's where I saw this boy sitting. He was in really deep thought, almost like he was thinking about someone. This was a view out of the restaurant I went to go have lunch. Back in Florida, I just drew this while I was waiting for my food to arrive. When I'm doing these complex scenes in ink, I like to start off with the middle and work my way around. Over on this page, a bunch of different drawings with different mediums, simplifying line, patterns, and color palettes. Not really thinking much, just having fun. And over on this side, some master studies in marker of J.C. Leyendeckers paintings. I definitely want to tackle some of these in oil one day, and then apply some of the techniques that I learned into some of my paintings. One very special page that holds a lot of memories. You may remember this page from one of my urban sketching videos. The story behind this page is, well, actually, why don't I just replay that moment for you? This may have been the most magical moment of the day.
Ah, su manita. Tienes que abrirlo.
We interacted and laughed together, and I was grateful to witness once again the carefree nature that kids bring us.
Mira lo que estás haciendo. Tienes que ver lo que haces.
Wow! I love it! Yep, I hope you brought your tissues for the sketchbook tour. These moments will live on forever. I think animals are really complex and interesting to study. So here's one with ballpoint pen, also an exclusive reward for my Patreons this year. Remember my sketchbook day video in New York City? Well, I like to take my creativity to the next level with the whiteboard feature edit that I did in the video. And for that scene to flow properly, I have to plan it out. So it started in this sketchbook, which then I filmed, and I promise drawing on a whiteboard on camera is a lot more pressure than it seems. For my birthday this year, I received an 18-karat gold nib fountain pen as a gift, and oh my goodness, I was screaming of joy and excitement. I can tend to draw some pretty calm emotions, so this was fun to really get that expressive emotion on the page. I can almost feel that character screaming. Here's some more figure drawings, some master study figure drawings. I enjoy studying other diagrams and then applying it to my art as well. I started the spread on location and then it started raining on me, so I ended up finishing it at home. These are some people I saw, and I like this green, pink, and yellow color format. A recent video and adventure here on the channel. I went scouting to urban sketch on location without a plan and didn't realize I was actually painting a historical building. All these will be linked below for you to check out. One evening, I decided to do studies of lettering, but it was a bit hard to focus because I had a very cute animal on my table distracting me. I've always had a passion and love for lettering. I think that letter form is a whole art of its own. I have a few books I purchased that I was just referencing. I practiced some initials, some little monograms, and I hope to apply these to my sketchbooks as captions, and studying these was way long overdue, so I'm really glad I got a chance to do so. One of my favorite seasons of the year is fall, and unfortunately didn't get to see some fall leaves this year, but I do get to live the moment in my sketches, and I really do love how they came out. I'd like for you to ask yourself, what's a subject or an animal or something that you've never drawn before, something super random. For me this time it was a Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, so this page was all about something that I've never drawn before. But of course, challenging to make a beautiful composition in the end. It was strange to say that I haven't been to the movie theater in quite some time, and recently I went to go watch The Fabelmans. It's a Steven Spielberg film. And oh my goodness, how inspired I was after I got out of that movie. I've been really into storytelling. Artists are storytellers, and I believe it's the most powerful, beautiful tool we have. And the amazing part is that there's so many ways to tell stories, from art to drawing to painting to videos, photography, writing, poetry. I'm getting too excited. On this spread, Discovering Gray Ink, I sketched my view on the beach. Sometimes I really just love getting lost in the cross-hatching noodling. Some more marker portraits over on the left, and I thought this portrait on the right was quite successful. Again, trying out a completely different color palette than I normally do. Your sketchbook is a place to experiment, try new things, do whatever you want in it. And sometimes these experiments turn into big revelations. These were also special, intimate moments for me because there was no filming involved and just me, my marker, and my sketchbook. Although the marker bled into the page, I made use of it and tried to make it work with the composition. As Bob Ross likes to say, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. For this drawing, I experimented with water-soluble crayons. I loved the texture, and then came back with my markers to draw my new camera, which I used to film this sketchbook tour. Although I grew my channel with my phone, I've been using it ever since. Story always comes first. It's never really about the expensive gear or art supplies, but eventually a time comes where you feel like you're ready to explore. So this was a fun little drawing from life. Approaching the last end page of the sketchbook, I always like to give myself a little more motivation. I sent these out to my patrons last month as well, and also sharing an uplifting vibe with you. I enjoy finishing some sketchbooks with a quote, something that resonates with me in the moment. So I went with this one by John Singer Sargent. And here's one from me too. Stay juicy, my friends. So that's it, huh? Another sketchbook filled with tons of drawings. Well, finishing a sketchbook is always a really beautiful feeling. You feel happy, sad, proud. But what do I wish that you take away from this? Well, first off, thank you for watching this little piece of my heart and life that I just shared with you. Each sketchbook, a little time capsule of emotions and moments. And it's not always the easiest sharing this with the world here on YouTube. But I truly am filled with gratitude that I can share this with you. I'm grateful for this beautiful, growing YouTube community. So with that, here's a little love letter from me to you.